there, everyone. I'm Heidi Reese, the Training Programs Manager for Dayton Superior. And guess what? It's Training Tuesday time today. Absolutely thrilled that you're here with us on this Tuesday, and just want to go over a couple of items before we kick it off. So just as a reminder, everyone's microphone has been muted to avoid any interruptions, but I don't want you to worry about if you have some questions. We're just actually chatting with someone from Canada, so that was kind of cool. You can do any kind of questions throughout the presentation or comments through the Q&A section of Zoom or the chat functionality. And definitely at the very end, we're going to have a mini question and answer session for you. Okay, in addition, all of our webinars are recorded and will be available, but this particular one will be available about 4 p.m. later today, and that's Eastern time. And they're all found on the Dayton Superior YouTube channel, or you can go straight to our website on daytonsuperior.com and just search for Training Tuesday. You'll find 2 links, one of which will get you to all of the latest 4 that we've done and all of the rest of the 95 that we've accomplished as well. And a big old database out there for you to see if there's anything good that you want to watch. All right, so this presentation is intended for training purposes only. So just as a reminder for this, DaytonSuperior.com again, you can get a whole lot of good information out there, but specifically the products that we're going to be discussing within the presentation, please go out there and get the technical specifications, safety information, all kinds of information before using any of the products. This is a training to tell you about it, what it is. It's a brief kind of enticer, and we can provide more training to you if this is just a little too quick. Maybe you want to get into the nitty-gritty, and we can do that. You can send us an email at training@daytonsuperior.com, and we can get that information to you. We'll have a little discussion on it. All right, so who is Dayton Superior? You may know us for accessories, or you may know us for chemicals, or you may know us for forming. You know us for all of it, I hope. We also handle engineering and have one of the largest engineering groups that can provide you with PE stamps, can work on tilt up and precast, bridge deck information and specifications for chemicals, other accessories, and definitely training. I just mentioned that these trainings that we're doing here for the Training Tuesday is quick and brief, and if you need more support, we're here for you. Today, we're going to be talking about tilt-up accessories. Specifically, we have a new launch that just happened. I think it was last week or the week before. And we're going to show you that as well. So that's pretty exciting. And so who the heck is here to talk to us about it? To present is Mr. Chuck Hoke, our Dayton Superior National Training Manager. Chuck, with his 49 years in construction and nearly 30-year tenure at Dayton, is an eminent figure in our organization. Do you like how I use the word eminent? Yeah, I'm getting all fancy on you now. Seriously, guys, his wordy, well, I gotta change it up a little. His extensive knowledge spans from sales for the chemicals. He was one of the first chemical dealers. It was pretty awesome. But he also understands accessories and the forming product lines. And as a holder of both a business and civil engineering degree, Chuck is our trusted advisor on a wide array of topics. And he really is my go-to guy. Like today, we were supposed to have another presenter and they got pulled away. But Mr. Chuck, he knows it all, so he's going to teach you, and he's going to teach you well. So take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Heidi, for that wordy description, introduction.
Yeah, I got a vocabulary calendar.
Okay, is that it? All right. So tilt up. We're going to talk about tilt up today. For most of you all know what tilt up is. It's basically an innovative and effective method for building construction. We see this happening more and more in the construction market over the past 5 to 10 years. Tilt up has really taken off in regions across the country. It was always very popular in the Southeast, South Central, and the West Coast, but now we're starting to see it more here in the Midwest and even in the northern half of the country, where precast has typically been predominant. So typically what tilt up is cast on site panels, then picked up and put in place with a crane, braced, and waiting for the roof to be installed, and then going from there. So trends, what are we seeing here? Well, when everybody says tilt up, a lot of people think the big box stores, 2.5 million square feet, 1 million square feet, 600,000 square foot, just minimal windows, a lot of door openings, etc. That's not tilt up anymore. Tilt up has migrated from that end of the market. Now you're seeing it in everything from semiconductors, schools, multi-use office space, lodging, battery facilities is the new big one. We've also got mega data centers and obviously warehouses. And one of the other key components is religious office buildings, religious buildings, churches, synagogues, etc. Those are all starting to be constructed using tilt-up construction. Why? Well, low cost, very flexible in design. When you see what you can do with tilt-up today, it is heads above what you could do 10 years ago. The speed of construction, you can typically have a vacant lot and have a building standing there in a matter of a couple of months. So you are seeing construction processes moving right along, and actually the lifting and setting, and then it is becoming a almost like a symphony of construction companies working on sites, placing concrete, placing the rebar, then picking the panels, all basically in conjunction with each other, moving around the building to actually construct the structure. It also offers a lower maintenance cost. It does give you a better durable surface than typical concrete, typical masonry, etc. And generally provides better fire resistance. And in today's market, thermal efficiency. Everybody wants those lead points and those buildings to be green. Tilt Up can offer that. Typical project here, process. Now the process is, as I was talking earlier, the process is fairly quick. But what you're looking at, you're going from foundations for floors to building the forms, installing the inserts, concrete placement for that, curing and densifying the floor at the same time. You're also looking at the strip the forms, then attach the braces, pick the panels up in place, and then attach the roof. Once the roof is finally attached, the structural engineer of record can actually give the release that the braces can be removed. A lot of times you're seeing braces put on the outside of the building so that the inside of the building can then be worked on until the braces can be removed. Braces. Well, we have a lot of them. And the braces have changed greatly over the last 10 years also. Back when I started in this business, we used to have the B4s and B5, which were the key components. Then we migrated to like the B8s, which would be a little bit heavier, a little bit stronger. Now we're all the way having braces all the way up to 62 feet. Typically that can be sent out to you. And if you notice the strength capacities, the ultimate loads on these braces have escalated immensely, and you're going to want to keep that in mind here going through this presentation. You'll see that the braces are getting bigger, bigger, and stronger. So other things are going to change within the accessory product line. So here we have our braces coming in. Typically, you're going to see on the majority of the standard braces, B0 all the way up to the B16. They typically have a standard wall plate, which will attach to the wall, and a standard foot plate. It's a one-hole plate. It goes in place. And then if you get into the bigger braces, we had to get a little bit heavier foot on the bottom of that brace that attaches to the floor slab. So we ended up having a 1-hole heavy duty pole, and then we also have a 2-hole brace foot. And as you look at it for the lifting inserts and so forth, here's a picture of our pre-engineered wall that actually we use in a lot of display cases, because this basically encapsulates every product that we, well, I shouldn't say every product, but the majority of the products that we now have available. Some of the more common ones you're seeing are lifting inserts, our T110, T120, T275, and our P92 FEW. So here we got our T110 and our T275. Basically, both of those inserts both have a 24,000 pound weight capacity, so 12 ton, and that's based off of concrete depth and strength. So the concrete that you're actually pouring, the wall that you're actually pouring, or the pad you're actually pouring, is relative to what the strength of the capacity of the insert is. So we recommend, especially for any of these inserts, get a hold of our engineering firm, the engineering group, to actually talk to you about placement and how many inserts should I be using. Now, to cover those inserts up, because they have such a recessed void on top of them, so you can access them, you can do a couple of different things. You can put a T275P on it, which actually covers the whole recessed void hole top. It basically looks like a light plate cover that you would have for an electrical outlet in your home. It basically sits right on top of the surface. It attaches to the insert, and when I say it attaches to the insert, it attaches. You're going to have to pry it off to get it off. So we also have our T45, which for the brace and hole, where you can have a 3/4 inch hole going into the wall. This unit will slide right in place here, slide into the insert to actually be anchored there. These two are two options. Next option is to use a non-shrink grout to patch the holes. And when I said we had edge lift inserts, our P92 FEW is a 12-ton edge lift anchor with a shear plate already built in place here. 50% higher load and capacity than any of the stamped anchors. So it eliminates, and with the foot plate on it, it eliminates the need for a shear bar. Typically, it helps eliminate spalling of the concrete due to erection head design, etc. And these are available in plain and hot dip galvanized. Our ring clutch are basically T120, used with the T110, the 275, and the T110E edge lift inserts, and the P92 FEW. So these are all used with that insert here and tilt up. So with all these different inserts, you can actually accommodate either an insulated wall panel, edge lift, or just a standard face lift with it, and use the same lifting hardware. Bracing inserts, remember I talked earlier that we had to take a close look at the capacities? Well, here's your capacity. We actually we eliminated our T6, which was our standard duty brace insert. We have now gone to a T6A heavy, so it accommodates all of the lifting inserts. So we don't have to worry about mixed inventory sitting on the shelf or being delivered to a job site. And the same thing with the T5A heavy. We've eliminated the T5A and only supplying now the T5A heavy, which basically gives you a little bit heavier wire and gives you a whole lot more strength. Anchorage to the floor slab, you're looking at a couple of different things here. For your bracing, you're looking at our bear cap bolt. Typically, it's a drill 3/4 inch hole into the slab, thread the Bearcat bolt into the hole with an impact wrench. Typically, we have two different grades. We have a single and a multi-use. Both of them require a 3/4 inch hole being drilled into the floor slab. The color difference here, you'll see the silver one that you're seeing here, galvanized, light colored galvanized, is the single use. Has a little bit lighter, softer material on the ends of it, so that just basically gives you one-time use, and then it's one and done, and you throw it away. The gold one is actually the multi-use top one. And what that does enables you to actually have anywhere from 10 to 17 reuses, depending on whether or not you hit rebar, strength of the concrete, strength of the aggregate, etc. So there's a lot of variables. And with every box, you actually get a plastic go, no go check piece that slides over the bolt, just to make sure whether or not it has enough thread or enough capacity left in it to actually secure your brace. We also have our T13 and our T13D. T13 has been around for a long time. Typically 3/4 inch hole, once again, 4.5 inch or 6 inch in length. You've got the T13D is also 4.5 and 6 inch in length. Both of these, or all of these T13s, actually come with a 4-coil expanded spring that actually enables you to actually resalvage the bolt, so you can reuse the bolt over and over again. Now the T13D has an elongated head. So what that does is it enables you to actually use this T13D as an anchor in multiple other ways, where you can attach a 3/4 inch coil rod to the top of it. Enables you to basically put the coil rod in it. Then you can make it into an anchor bolt for whatever, however length you need. So you see a lot of key component uses for this product. It's a great little product and available. And you can also use for bracing your braces. Now, about 5 years ago, the engineering community actually came up with it. We needed to actually start anchoring our brace anchor. And what we ended up doing here is we developed this T29 brace anchor. You had to develop 20,000 pound hold down capacity for the panels once they are erected. So we have our T29 base anchor, PBA. You get about 10,000 pounds worth of capacity out of each one. So you use 2 per panel. Typically, it meets ACI 318, 319, section 16.2.4.3.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, that's
but it needs some good requirements.
That's a subparagraph. So, and it is also designed so they can work in both cracked and uncracked concrete. Typically uses a bolt similar to the Bearcat bolt, only this bolt here is a little bit longer in depth for anchorage purposes into the footer. And if you have to have a shear capacity for seismic design, there's a plate you can also purchase, which actually attaches to the same PVA that we have and allows you to use standard Bearcat bolts to actually attach that to the floor, to the footer. So this actually replaces any of the weld plates that we used to have in the marketplace. Here for the last of the accessories, we are going to look at insulated wall panels. We talked about the buildings going green. So we're looking at currently what type of insulation panel connectors do we have? Well, we have our Delta tie, and we have the Yeti tie. And we have a couple of months ago, we actually made the acquisition of HK Composite Systems. And they have a variety of anchors here between the STDP and CA. And the VP anchor is one that actually helps in the forming of the panels. So what you're looking at here is a full line system that can actually accommodate any of your needs within the marketplace. And as always, Dayton Superior has always been one of the oldest manufacturers of bar supports, whether they be metal or plastic. Plastic, we actually have our Aztec Easy Connect Chair PSB and our Easy Set Chair, which actually for those that are larger. And we have other plastic chairs that can actually accommodate sitting on top of the phone so it doesn't punch a hole in the phone. So talk to your Dayton Superior rep for more information on that. We've also got our plate dowel system for actually floor slab connectivity. So basically across the joints of the floor slab, so the floor maintains.
So I don't trip?
So you don't trip.
Yeah, because I'm a klutz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to pick your feet up off the floor. So this will actually help keep the concrete slabs in alignment. It's an easy system to install, basically pouring one half with a plastic void in, sliding the sleeve in once you remove the woodwork, and then pouring the second half of the slab. Available in 3/4, 3/8, and 1/4 inch thicks as far as the plate is associated with. And that is something that based off of concrete thickness and engineered design capacity for the floor. Couple of other great products for Tilt Up. We've got our V66 slab saver. Typically goes on the bottom of the panel being erected, gets cast into the slab. So it basically isn't something that you add afterwards. It's something you cast into the slab so that when you pick the panel up and you slide it into position, it slides along the slab and doesn't damage the floor slab. We also have our T69, basically a saw cut seal, where a lot of guys may end up using joint compound, caulk, etc. This actually pops into place and can be easily removed with the screwdriver. Typically will come out in longer pieces, making it easier to remove, and you don't have to worry about any residue. The other thing here, we all know that we all use wood on a lot of tilt projects, and chamfers and rustifications, etc., are no different. Two things with rustifications, if you're using wood, one, they are cheap, but it's a pay me now, pay me later consideration. The plastic, the wood chamfer you use is a great product. Unfortunately, it absorbs a lot of water, moisture, slurry, bleed water from the concrete. Then when you go to remove it, you end up spalling the concrete. Plastic, on the other hand, gives a nice, much cleaner and more direct line finish. So basically it reduces any finishing costs, so no patching, no rubbing, no et cetera. And if you're good to the plastic, you can actually reuse it. For those guys who are looking at trying to pry up or pop out of the slab away to help assist the bond breaker, to help air come under the slab, you have our A95 Dayton bar. Basically is a 1x2 steel bar with a curved end of and it's roughly 3.5 inches in width, and has a V notch in the bottom to actually help if you need to pull nails with it. But it works really good for actually helping pop the panels, basically pop it away from the floor slab. So you can rock it on that curve that's on the bottom of it. Now, just in case, this is a safe lifting safety place. These plates have different terminology across the country, and I'm not going to tell you what they are.
Oh.
No, we
You
aren't going to
just
go.
totally
Nope.
trumped me. I wanted you to do it.
Some people will call them panic plates. Other ones will have a different name for it, which will
I
leave
chose
it
this
be.
one. Mhm.
So we have a standard duty and a heavy duty anchor. The standard duty typically was used when you were using anything up to the 8-ton inserts, the older style. The newer plates, which are the heavy duty plates, are a hexagon shape. They have a few more anchor bolts attached to it and give you a little bit more lifting capacity, just in case you end up knocking over an insert or misplacing an insert in a concrete panel. And obviously we have shim packs. We got to, I mean, every job requires them. It's one of those things. If you ever tried to stand up two concrete panels that were parallel to each other, you have to make sure that they are parallel, because as a 30-foot tall panel, if you're leaning one way or have one end of it an 1/8 inch higher than the other, by the time you get 30 feet, it's going to be way out of line, and your next panel won't go in tight with it. So you always want to make sure your panels are basically shimmed for truing. Now, let's talk about the newest product that we've got available. Here, we got our new T72 roof nailer. For those customers that actually have a roofing company or contractor that comes in and you attach a roof nailer to the top of the panel. This roof nailer here goes in place here. You thread the anchor in place. The plastic component is embedded in the concrete wall, so that when you pick the panel up, the roof nailer is already attached. Now, what it's going in for is it is going to attach. It's going to attach the membrane waterproofing and a flashing on top of it. Surprise, we lost the slide here, so I'm looking at we had a display of what was on it. But
So it's a whole bunch of nails, right? Normally
Yeah.
you nail it in and wrapped around, and it was
Typically-
not specified.
typically what contractors do, most engineers, this is a specified connection. So most engineers, what they will specify is an anchor bolt, or they will have a threaded anchor or a expansion style anchor. Problem is, after you get that attaching everything, you have to make sure that the connecting part on the top, the nut on the top of the nail plate, has to be embedded in the wood, because when you put the roofing on it, roofing membrane and the flashing, it has to be flush. With this system, you do not have to worry about that. There are other different methods. This is one of the quickest and easiest way to attach that roof nailer to the concrete panel for help your roofing contractor out with, so that when he comes up the parapet wall with the flashing and puts a flashing top over the top of it, it's quick and it's easy, and he doesn't have to make any other connections with it. Now, what do we have available here? Well, we got resources. Dayton Superior is home to the resource center of the universe.
Universe, huh?
Yeah, universe.
Is it like Marvin the Martian?
Yes, it is. Dayton, in all honesty, has the best literature site on the computers, basically on the internet. So you can go on to DaytonSuperior.com, pull up any of the information, contact information for your salespeople, product pages, technical data sheets, safety data sheets, application guides, tilt-up products handbooks, including whether you have all of these other pieces of information that are used every day in the marketplace for use for submittal for your engineer, etc. And you can also locate contact information for our engineering services on there. You're going to look at tilt up at project estimations at tilt up estimate at DaytonSuperior.com. That'll, especially if you're doing tilt up, that'll help get you in touch with one of our estimators or an engineering firm down in Orlando. And these guys can actually help guide you through how to get your project taken care of. It'll also, we've got estimating tools available, whether it be online or basically through our engineering group, or we also have a manual one that you can do if you need something quick and dirty. We can get that for you. That is all set up. That comes up with a rough estimate as to what you're going to need. And it gives you a breakdown of, I think, 8 or 10 of the major products that you're going to require. And if you have any other additional questions, you can actually get a hold of them at tiltup@DaytonSuperior.com. Or any other questions or requests or anything else that you got to have, you can go to Superior Tilt at DaytonSuperior.com. Now, if you require additional training or you want to have additional training and require tilt up, you can review any of the past trainings on Training Tuesdays. They're available. Go to DaytonSuperior.com, just in the search bar, hit Training Tuesday, and it'll come up with a listing of all the choices that you'll have. And Heidi alluded to those earlier as to how many we've got out there. If you need a training class, you can also do that at training@DaytonSuperior.com. And as always, if you do have questions, either scan the QR code here, or you can, if it's tilt up related, you can actually get a hold of Superior Tilt at DaytonSuperior.com at this phone number, or you can contact your local TSR technical sales representative for tilt up, and you can get their number off of the contact sheet. Anybody have any questions? Please feel free to enter them in the chat functionality right now, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, any questions? Just to remind you, Chuck already talked about it. I did as well, but go out there on DaytonSuperior.com and you can search for Training Tuesday. Register for the next one that's going to happen next Tuesday. That is on floor maintenance for steel ply. In addition, you can see all of the latest floor that we've done, and then it can point you whether if you want to do more tilt. There is a tilt up category. Select that and it will take you to all the ones that we've done in the past. One more time, any questions? All right then, well, just to let everyone know, go check it out about 4 o'clock and they should be online, and everybody have a fantastic Tuesday. Until next week, I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck.